Hello and welcome to SkyRidge Medical Center. I'm Maureen Tarrant, Chief Executive Officer. SkyRidge Medical Center opened on August 20th, 2003. Today we are the leading acute care hospital in Douglas County. From the very beginning, our goal has been to offer our patients and their families an extraordinary healthcare experience, one that goes far beyond their expectations. At SkyRidge, we believe that each person who walks through our doors is unique, special, and deserving of a lasting, memorable experience. We know consumers have a choice in healthcare providers, and we want to ensure that SkyRidge is at the top of the list. Of course, our #1 priority is patient safety, and patients expect that. However, we can differentiate ourselves through the service we provide by focusing on patient loyalty more than just satisfaction. This happens when we engage with our patients in a compassionate and caring way. We want our patients and visitors to leave SkyRidge sharing wonderful stories about the extraordinary care they've experienced here. Because of our unwavering commitment to excellence, it takes a special person to work at SkyRidge. We look for individuals who are passionate about service, who want to excel in their chosen fields, and who are committed to creating a hospital for the future. To tell you more about our desire to create a world-class organization, here's our host, Wendy Brockman.
Thank you, Maureen. This is an extraordinary facility. No wonder so many people want to work here. You can see and feel a difference. One of the first things I noticed, in addition to the beauty of the facility, is the warmth and friendliness of the staff here. As a patient or a visitor, you come away feeling as if you are the most important person in the hospital. SkyRidge employees seek out contact with visitors. They're the first to smile and say hello. One only need appear lost or confused, and a staff member is there to escort you to your destination. As a consumer, this is refreshing and most appreciated. You also get a great sense of camaraderie at SkyRidge. Colleagues greet one another by name, and they appear to genuinely care about each other and the success of other departments. From the observant eyes of patients, they see more than friendliness. They see a team. They see respect and appreciation for each individual's contributions to the welfare of the patient and the comfort of the visitor. This gives guests a feeling of confidence that SkyRidge is a well-oiled machine with every department focused on one goal, the best care of the patient. Smiling and greeting people may seem easy enough on the surface, but it really takes a serious level of commitment to perform at your peak each and every day. There's no room for mediocrity or a bad hair day at SkyRidge, and that's because the SkyRidge team views every encounter from the perspective of the patient. How would the patient perceive my tone of voice? Have I provided an anxious mom with enough information to relieve her stress? Have I introduced and complimented other staff members to the visitors? Have I explained the task at hand thoroughly? All from the patient's viewpoint. Another standout feature is the pride this team takes in their own appearance, as well as the hospital's. The adage, "you can't judge a book by its cover," may be true on some level, but SkyRidge employees know the power behind a well-groomed professional appearance. Looking on top of your game every day gives patients a greater sense of security and confidence. And we can all relate to how great we feel when we look good. As you heard, the dress code is taken very seriously. Appearance extends to the facility, too. Consider the last time you had guests in your home. What did you do? Clean the house, fill the fridge, and make sure your home was inviting and comfortable. At SkyRidge, patients and visitors are guests, too. Keeping a watchful eye for trash, misplaced furniture, and paperwork in public areas is the norm here. Every member of the SkyRidge team contributes to the overall cleanliness and beauty of the hospital. Have you heard people talk about being in the moment? Being in the moment requires listening, empathy, and the courage to connect to patients and visitors emotionally. Only then can you be genuine and display the compassion that is so vitally important to patients and their families. A compassionate act can take many forms. Acknowledging that a patient or family member may be frightened, sharing a story, providing comfort, respecting the patient's privacy, anticipating one's needs, and responding with kindness and concern. Compassionate actions are what people remember. This is how SkyRidge is different. Day in and day out, you'll hear wonderful stories about human acts of kindness. That is how the SkyRidge legacy will be created, one compassionate act at a time.
There are a few reasons that I love bringing my patients here. The first is that SkyRidge has a unique situation being a new startup, that all of the staff, but especially the nurses that are here, have come with an attitude that they can make this a better place. Almost all of the nurses that I know that work here are experienced and have worked at other places and sometimes many other places, but they've all felt like there was something not quite right, or that if they could make a difference, that they could make things better. And so there's a combined team feeling that this can be a better place. And I think that's conveyed to the doctors and the patients. So that's really the number one reason. The second reason dovetails into that very closely, and that is I've never seen a more responsive administrative team. The administration will respond to patient and doctor complaints usually within 24 hours. Let me give you an example. My wife needed surgery, and she's had surgery multiple times before. But I wanted her to have this most recent surgery here at SkyRidge. She came and thought everything was wonderful and peaceful and had a very good healing feeling about it. But the one complaint she had was that the IV placed preoperatively caused her whole arm to go cold because the fluid hadn't been warmed. We reported that, and by the next morning, all patients in the pre-op area were getting warmed IV fluids. You just don't see that kind of response anywhere else that I've worked or had experience with.
If you have a desire to succeed, care deeply about providing extraordinary customer service, and want to work in an environment where the bar has been raised above all others, then SkyRidge just might be the right place for you. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the heartbeat of SkyRidge, where going beyond your expectations is not merely a tagline, it's a promise.
Thank you, Wendy. Wendy has provided you with a wonderful overview of the service philosophy at SkyRidge. Now, I'd like to share our specific values and expected employee behaviors. We've embraced Fred Lee's strategy based on his best-selling book, If Disney Ran Your Hospital, 9.5 Things You Do Differently. And this begins with 4 key values. In order of priority, they are safety, courtesy and compassion, show or presentation, and efficiency. We've prioritized them in this way to make your decision-making easier. It's no surprise that patient safety is our first value. At SkyRidge, we ask each of our employees to look for ways to make our environment safer for our patients and each other. For instance, if you notice that the names of 2 medications are similar or come in look-alike bottles, we expect you to report it. Each of us is accountable for creating a safe environment. Courtesy and compassion, that's number 2. You've already heard that courtesy and compassion are what our patients truly treasure. And I'd like to reinforce that courtesy and compassion trump efficiency. Always put your patients' or your family members' needs above your eagerness to perform the next task. Show or presentation is our third value. We take pride in this hospital and are committed to exemplary personal and campus appearance. Remember the story from the book, In Search of Excellence, about the airline tray table with a coffee stain? Customers felt that if they couldn't figure out how to clean the coffee from the tray table, what does that say about their maintaining the engine? This lack of attention to detail caused travelers to doubt the safety of the airline. So think about a hospital, a clean bathroom, a parking lot free of trash. Well, our customers think that if we pay that much attention to how the facility looks, imagine how much attention we're paying to what's most important, clinical care. When our customers arrive, we want the hospital and campus spotless and our staff well groomed. This means clean press clothes or scrubs, no jeans, minimal piercing or anything else that might cause a patient to be concerned about our professionalism and commitment to their care. And finally, our fourth value is efficiency. Make no mistake, we spend enormous time and effort to always improve our processes, but in your day-to-day interactions, safety, courtesy, and compassion and show will always win out. Now let's turn to our top 5 expected employee behaviors. The first is to be aggressively friendly. Now this may take some of you aback, but what this means is to actually seek out contact with patients, visitors, colleagues, and physicians. We want you to greet, initiate conversation, and help solicit feedback. For instance, if you work in housekeeping, we expect that you'll ask our guest if everything has been cleaned to their satisfaction, and is there anything you could tell the nurse? This shows that each member of our organization is part of the healthcare experience. Next is to take care of our environment. This relates directly to show or presentation value. As Wendy and I have mentioned, we take our dress seriously and expect each SkyRidge employee to do the same. And no matter where you work, you will ensure that the hospital looks its best at all times. Our third behavior is to embrace teamwork. We want our patients and their families to know that we work with each other to better their experience. This means greeting every employee by name and highlighting other team members as well as their contributions in front of patients and families. This will give our patients a greater sense of confidence and security in our abilities. Another critical behavior is to focus on the customer. You are on stage and in the moment with every customer encounter. We expect you'll look up from your desk or your nurse's station when a guest approaches, or you hear that elevator bell, and set aside personal conversation. And finally, we want you to champion these behaviors. To create the SkyRidge experience, we must live our values and behaviors each day. And while it may be uncomfortable, we expect you to call your peers when they're not living up to these expectations. Together, we can make a difference. I know this is a lot to absorb, and these expectations may be different than what you've been asked to do before. But we've chosen to set the bar high at SkyRidge, so please take a few minutes and think about whether this is a fit for you. If not, we appreciate your introspection and invite you to think of us again when the time might be right. But if it is a fit, we applaud your desire to excel and look forward to your commitment to helping us create a world-class environment and one that is beyond our customers' expectations. Thank you.
I love working at SkyRidge. It's just wonderful. It's a nice, new, clean facility.
I like working at SkyRidge because it's a progressive new hospital.
It's a very good campus. It's very open. It's got a nice flow. I think our patient care is excellent.
The people who work here truly love what they do. They're happy doing what they're doing. They're invested in doing it to their best of their abilities, and it makes for a great working environment. I love it.